who has more to gain with a title? Steph, who's trying to crack the top 10 of all time. I mean, he's just trying to win championships, right? But for the rest of us, he's trying to crack the top 10 of all time. Or Tatum, who's trying to win his first chip. Quick analogy.
Quick.
All right? So if you have a rocket ship, you want to take off, blast off from the Earth, you have to achieve escape velocity, right? So that the gravity of the Earth doesn't pull you back in. Okay?
Escape velocity.
So that's what Tatum's trying to achieve, escape velocity.
Escape velocity.
But if you try to accelerate a particle of matter to light speed, it takes all the energy in the universe.
You lost me at escape.
Max, you got to go
It takes all the energy in the universe to get to light speed, right?
Okay.
So that's what it's like to crack the top 10. Even though he's already in orbit, to get to light speed, it takes so much more.
Velocity? Where does
Corey in New York, who has more to gain? Pearls before swine.
Velocity.
Corey in New York, who has more to gain, Tatum or Steph?
Jayson Tatum, I believe, has way more to gain.
Tell him.
He's a young pup in the league. He's now branching up, surpassing a lot of people that we thought was, top tier. Steph is always going to be in the top 10, no matter have a problem with it. But I think it's Jayson Tatum's time, man. He plays on both sides of the ball. He does things that, people just didn't think that he could do, and they were trying to separate the tandem that they had, man. So, he's just a lock in for it.
See, I'm with Corey on this one. Like I've been saying for a while, when you watch JT play, he's been known to be like a prolific scorer, but his defense is elevated. Yes. And to a different level where you're seeing him want those matchups. Like, okay, Kevin Durant, I got you. Like, I'm going to make the world known that I got you. Hey, Giannis, I got you. Hey, Jimmy Butler, I'm going to take you. Like, even though those guys have been scoring, like he's been taking on that challenge. That's what you want to see.
Accepting the defensive assignment and still producing on the other end. Aaron in Philly, who's got more to gain with a title, Steph or Tatum?
I think it's Steph. I think while he's close to the top 10, I think this puts him in the top 10 for sure. I think like Jordan, I think like these top 10 players, he makes everybody around him better. And he's been shutting down. And I think through these playoffs, when it first started, not too many were looking at Golden State. And now Golden State looks like they used to. They look like the best team out there. And Curry just makes everybody around him better. It's a better coach team. I think they win this series pretty easily, honestly.
And I know Steph probably won't admit this, but he wants to be in that top 10. Right now, he's on the outside looking in. If he wins this title, man, the conversation has to be revisited. And you have to start looking at the list like, okay, who are we going to move out? Or do you think if Steph wins this, do you think he deserves to be in the top 10? Or do you think he has to win 2 more to be in the top 10?
I think he's going to be there when it's all said and done. But do not get this remiss, though. He ain't worried about top 10. Steph is one of the most petty dudes that you'll ever meet. Now, he'll never articulate that to the public.
Yeah.
But every story I've heard about him internally, and just remember the last time these two teams played, right? Second regular season game.
That's right.
Marcus Smart dove into this man's leg and took him out. He had his ankle.
That's right.
Right? And some people deemed it as a dirty play. I didn't see it as a dirty play. But so just know how that factors into stuff like this coming up now.
I'm going to poke Jay now. I'll give Steph a little more motivation. Here's how gangster this is, okay?
Is this like your Tom Brady motivation?
Yes. Let's be honest.
On that same level, wow.
Because I was the first one to point out, as far as I know, hey, he's never won Finals MVP. That would be the thing he needs. Everyone's like, oh, no, you can't say it. Now everyone's saying that, right? Hey, maybe he should win Finals MVP. Guys, Tatum, it's important for him to win because he has to prove that he can be the best player on a championship team, right? So does Steph. Steph has yet to prove in his career that he can be the best player on a championship team.
I'm not gonna let you
Let's
do
see
that,
him do it.
He was
Max,
the
I'm not gonna let you do that.
He was the best player.
How many Finals MVP? How many Finals MVPs
No,
he
That
got?
doesn't mean
We're not gonna do that,
Really?
Max.
Finals
They
MVP.
give it to the second best player?
Max, he was not the second best player on the team on the year they won.
Finals,
Why didn't they give it to him?
Finals MVP.
Stop that, man.
Hold on, HC. Finals MVP. In your mind would mean best performer in that 7-game series. Does not equate to best player.
Well,
Does
yes,
not
in
equate
that.
to best
Well, I'm
player.
saying best player on that team in that series.
Time out.
Yes.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
I'm ripping your argument to shreds right now.
No, you're saying
Finals MVP means you have been the best performer in the series.
Let me
Does
show
not
you
mean
why.
that you are the best player.
Let me show you why. I'll prove it to you real quick.
Prove it to me.
First series, they won because the other team was hurt, period. They went to a tough 6-game series without Kyrie Irving or Kevin Love, all right? So,
But was he the best player on his team?
He was not.
Was he the best player on his team?
He was the best player during the regular season on his team.
Who was the best player on his team in the playoffs?
In the finals.
Hold on, Max. You're not answering my question.
Because they were a championship team by default.
I am ripping your argument to shreds right now.
A championship team, the point of a championship is to prove at the end of the season you're the best team. And what the Golden State Warriors proved in 15 is they were the second best team. They proved they were the second best team. What they proved was there was a team better than them, and they got lucky they were hurt.
So according to your argument, you're saying Andre Iguodala was the best player on the floor.
No, I'm saying LeBron James was the best player on the floor.
All right, but the Finals MVP goes to the best player on the best championship team. That's what your argument's around.
They went to the best player on a team. Steph was the best player on a team that got lucky that the other team was hurt.
Woo, wah, wah.
The next year, they actually lost when they won 73 regular season games. Then they won 2 more.
Can't guard me, Max.
And who was the best player on the team? KD.
Can't guard me.
KD.
So I'll say this, and I tweeted this last night. The 5 final appearances that the Golden State Warriors have had. The first 2, Steph Curry was the best player on that team. I don't care what anybody says.
He was.
The next 3, that was Kevin Durant.
Right. Yeah, but the first one, they only won 4. Because the other team was destroyed by injury. They clearly would have lost that series.
You can say that about the following year. You can say that about the year
injuries.
No. Big difference between Steph's hurting himself, like not being 100%, and 2 guys not on the floor.
But you can say that about when they lost to Toronto.
Yes, you can say that about Toronto. KD was the best player.
There's a history within the entire league of certain players being injured during NBA Finals runs. Like you don't use that to demean everybody's legacy.
I would say anytime you can find a champion where the second and third best player weren't available to play the games.
I agree with you.
That's legitimate where you can say, and the series is extended.
That's fine. That's a reasonable argument. But don't say he wasn't the best player on his team.
No, what I'm saying is in 2015,
but you keep using
they won a championship by default. I don't see that like a regular championship because clearly the Cavs were better than they were.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.